cut a deal, another lousy deal with Musa Kusa.
Ibrahim Jibril, we know that the Gulf countries have supported the idea of a no-fly zone. The Arab League will be meeting in a session on Saturday. We know that NATO members, defense ministers, will be also meeting and weighing this option over the next couple of days. How important is it for Arab Muslim countries to put some cover on this, to take the lead, to not give the appearance that this is Western-led?
I honestly don't think it makes any difference. At the end of the day, it isn't going to be the Arab countries that will impose it, even though they may participate in it. Secondly, this is also coming very late in the game. We need to move fast, and I cannot overemphasize that. And as Mr. Schuller indicated, there are a lot of things that can be done and are not being done on the ground today. So this is not a either no-fly zone or nothing. There are a lot of things, a lot of steps, a lot of measures that can take place and can be done today. They don't all involve military action, and they need to be done now. The Arabs have had now 3 weeks to chew on this, to contemplate it, and to do something. Thus far, up until this point, the only thing that has come out of the Arab League is a suspension of the membership of Libya in that. Even that is to be discussed in May when they meet. So thus far, it's been no action and a lot of talk. And if they take the lead on the no-fly zone, meaning pushing it through the Security Council and getting it done fast, then that would be very good. Otherwise, it is not going to make a bit of a difference.
Obviously, there are some on the Security Council, Russia, perhaps China as well, who have serious reservations about the notion of foreign military intervention. Henry Schuller, there were in the last few hours sustained air bombardments of oil installations. In the last few days, there were also sustained aerial bombardments of what appeared to be rebel-held military depots. Did you see enough solid evidence to suggest that there has also been a deliberate attempt to bomb civilian targets on the ground?
Well, I've not seen the first-hand footage of that, but it's clear to me that Gaddafi wants to make it clear to Europe in an effort to terrify them that the oil installations from which they receive their oil are hostage to him. And that's why it's so important that the insurgents have been able to keep control of them in most of the time in recent days. But the largest export of Libyan oil comes from the Sarir field, which is way over near Tobruk and comes out through the Tobruk terminal, and there's no air attack that far away from Tripoli. So the oil will continue to flow, and the money will continue to flow into the coffers of the insurgents and the government in Benghazi. And I hope that they are able to use that to buy the arms that they need to protect themselves and to move on to Tripoli. I think that's a very promising prospect.
Mansour al-Kihya, what do you see as the most potent at this stage and possible scenarios for Muammar Gaddafi? Is he weighing his options? Does he feel this is the end for him and time to make a deal with whomever he can and try to save his skin and that of those around him?
I don't think so. I think he feels he's winning. And then just latest movements, he has moved forces away from Misrata to fortify those in Sirt, feeling confident that he has gotten Misrata under control, that he can actually defeat the insurgents in Ras Lanuf and Bin Jawad. But he actually believes that he's going to win this. He doesn't realize that even if he wins, he loses. He's not going to win. Libyans will not have him anymore, and they will get rid of him. You know, you will not see, the odd thing that here we're talking three of us, you're not seeing too much difference in our own perception of things. We seem to agree on one thing about what to be taken against Gaddafi. I do not think you will find a single person in the world who will say the opposite.
Ibrahim Jibril, do you agree? Do you feel that all the pressure that has been mounting on Muammar Gaddafi is beginning to show? His assets have been frozen by the US. There have been measures taken by the UN Security Council to impose a travel ban. The case of his referral to the ICC. Is there any indication that he is feeling the pressure?
Yeah, but before I go there, just very quickly, just a minor correction. The fires and so on that we saw were not actually weapons depots. These are fuel tanks and they are in Sidra, they're not in Ras Lanuf. And so this is what we're seeing. And I think that part of that, I think that Gaddafi has so far, and this is getting back to your question, he has been playing several cards. He has played the Islamist card, he has played the Qaeda card, he has played every card possible. Now he is playing the illegal migration card, and lastly the security of Israel card, and the last one is the environmental card. And I think that what he is saying is there is an environmental disaster on hand, and what you see now, this smoke bellowing out of Sidra, that can be just an indication of what happens. As to the pressure issue that you asked about, I think he is under extreme pressures, and I think that you see the desperation in his voice, in his words, and in his actions. The fact that he is resorting now in an Arab world, in a Muslim world, to say that the security of Israel depends on my remaining in my position, this is as low as it gets in this region. And this is what he has resorted to, lastly.
Your thoughts on this, Henry Schuler. Do you think there's a lot of pressure being felt right now by the leadership in Tripoli? And to what extent do you feel that bringing the case of the ICC against him now and the possibility of a military action being taken on the ground, to what extent would this play into the hands precisely of groups like Al-Qaeda and its affiliates, those who believe that here is yet another example of a Muslim Arab leader being prosecuted?
I think it's very important to realize that the true believers in Islam in Libya recognized long ago that Muammar Gaddafi is virtually a heretic. He has arrogated unto himself the role of spiritual leader of the Libyan people through his Green Book nonsense. He has changed the Islamic calendar, a tradition that went back forever, to change it to start with the death of the Prophet, not with the AlJazeera. That sort of thing, and he has denounced the Sunnah as being a valid view of what the Prophet meant in his sayings.
But so do you think that he may use the actions now taken against him to rally support among those people who believe that he does somehow represent nationalistic ideals?
I don't believe he has a chance of doing that. He's too exposed. He's too vulnerable. This is too. This revolt against him rose up among the Libyan people, and it's not the first time. It's just the most successful so far. The forces of democracy and true Islam will triumph over Gaddafi. I have no doubt.
Mansour al-Kikhya, what do you make, and there you are in the United States, what do you make precisely of the position of the Bush administration, now the Obama administration? After all, Gaddafi's regime did not become brutal with its people overnight, yet he had drawn American praise for fighting extremism. There's a cable that was released recently by WikiLeaks, 2008, it is dated. It's called "The Libyan Leader, a Strong Partner in the War Against Terrorism," noting the excellent intelligence cooperation. What do you make about that?